The intent of this is to bring both Camden County and Hidalgo County up to par on the use of this trailer. This was done through MMRS grant. There's 2 of these trailers, and the idea is to have hospital level response through the health department to do decontamination before people go in and contaminate a hospital site. That's one aspect. That was the true basis of these trailers. The second basis is, and we found out that during emergency scenes, that these could be used for decon at the actual site if there's multiple patients. Or go one step further, we've already found out that if there's a major incident and it's a multiple day event, that these can be converted into showers and used for firefighters, police officers, EMTs, hospital personnel, whoever's at a scene of a multi-day, multi-agency event. It works. And then the last one is the one that we actually truly used them on, which was the incident over Hurricane Dean, where we showered all the bus driver people. And it was actually an experiment because one of the big issues about putting people inside of a trailer, you know, I don't know you today from yesterday, and now we're about to take them and stick them into a trailer and say, take your clothes off because what you have on you could kill you. How do you convince somebody to do that? We even talked about it in a meeting. Well, lo and behold, when we did the Hurricane Dean event, we purposely chose not to have male people shower in the trailers. We chose to have females shower in the trailers versus inside the convention center. And we asked, I did a little bit of a polling while the ladies were coming out. We explained to them how the showers work. When they came out, we asked them if they felt that there's any concern about safety or security or inappropriateness or anything. And out of all the people for about a 3-hour period, nobody came out saying anything. In fact, they were real happy they had a place to take a bath and clean themselves up from driving down here. So that was a surprise to me. I figured that we were going to have some serious problems with people accepting the fact of walking into a travel trailer and taking a shower. It worked out good. So, the first thing I wanted to show y'all, and I don't know if y'all seen these before, but these are some things that you should consider equipping your trailer with. And it can be done to a major degree as far as having a lot of these supplies, or you can just do an initial supply and keep these numbers available where you can call these people to have more resources come in. But these are pre-decon and post-decon packets, and these are self-contained units. We'll go through the pre-decon. When you have somebody from an incident and they're dirty from chemical whatever, then they need to help themselves. And that's one of the things that we're trying to accomplish with an exercise that we still haven't had the actual hands-on portion of it, but to see how we're going to be able to convince people to follow the directions and use this equipment to best serve them to help save their life. The pre-decon case of Edinburgh Fire Department, we have 500 of each, which is not near enough to cover a major incident, but it's at least a good start. We have boots for the feet in pre-decon. There's it gives you instructions on what to do and where to put the material. You can see they have instructions here. It doesn't have to be English, doesn't have to be Spanish, just follow the pictures. And it shows taking your shirt off, taking your shoes off, taking your pants off, and putting them into the bag. And then tearing off this red tape and sealing it. There's also a marker in here. Should be a marker, maybe not on this one. These are my practice ones here. Got a marker where you can write, they can write their name if you want to go to that degree of accountability. They can write their name on the bag, and then once they go into the trailer, these doors here are designed to just be unlatched, and you just push the material out, it falls on the ground. That way it's not part of the trailer. It's a chute. Once you push your bag out of the trailer, it falls on the ground. There's just a pile of everybody else's stuff. It's not mixed up with anybody's. And in a true emergency, the probability is they'll never get the clothing back. But in the event that somebody, it was determined that it was a fake incident or a hoax, and it wasn't powder on the people, that was anthrax, turned out to be sugar or something, people could theoretically get their material back. So we have the bag. Okay. There's a cover that the person can put over them and it's basically like a gown that you get in the hospital or in your doctor's office, just to minimize your exposure while you're gaining access to the decon site. And this is antibacterial wipes, and this is the disposable towel that the person is supposed to use to help dry themselves off after they decon. And that's a pre-decon suit packet.
Where does that take place?
If you had enough area, depending on how many people it is, and of course the idea of, you're thinking to yourself, how are you going to get people out on the wide open to start de-dressing? The chances is, right now today, we're not going to get any takers. But I've been on scenes in true emergencies. I mean, we've been in sewer, canals for the local sewer, and we have firefighters that will just down right there in between two trucks. When there's a true emergency, or your body's decaying because of exposure to chemical, it's amazing that people will comply with what you're doing. The big issue is mass numbers. And nobody can really say how that's going to work, because none of us have experienced mass chaos, mass numbers of people trying to get them funneled into a trailer. But, you know, that's part of the opportunity for y'all to think, well, maybe do we want to expand on this and we want to get a tent? You know, something that's easy to throw up and set up a staging area here to help it facilitate getting people through, or is just going into the trailer adequate? Okay. Otherwise, in y'all's case for these trailers, you might not necessarily need this. You send somebody that's dirty, they come into the trailer right here. There's 3 positions. This is where you take your clothes off. Right here is where the decon solution is injected into the shower assembly. Clean water. And then this area right here is for them to put on the column. It has one of those inside of there. Of course, the thing is that we're dealing with multiple frame people, so what might fit one person might not fit another. That's something to consider. Easy way to deal with that is get everything big. Don't try in small, medium, large. You need a small now. Get everything big. They put it on. That's the way it is. This has got a plastic lining on it, so the potential of this tearing is minimized because you're wet when taking a shower, but it still will tear. This is another towel to do drying. Just a little bit bigger than the first one. The shoes, so you know, when we're in a parking lot, at a hospital, we're in the grass, whatever, they can put the shoes on. This is a rain suit, kind of shield them, kind of minimize this thing tearing if there's raining outside. Who knows, that was one of the topics brought up about doing the hazmat exercises, that we should do it at any time, because if it's raining or snowing or whatever, because just never can tell. And then this is one of the, like a silver swaddler blanket to keep people warmed up, or a baby type of deal. You can wrap this around somebody that came out of a shower, that the environment was not like today where it's nice. sunny weather. Silver swaddler. That's what I call them. They're a aluminized little blanket. And basically it looks like a blanket made out of aluminum foil is what it looks like. It's just a little bit less intense as far as being rough. So this is the post-decon. This is the one, if I was going to tell you what you should spend your money on, this is the one that I would suggest that you invest money in, is the post-decon. Because you get to a hospital, you know, the idea is that worst case scenario, you have a bomb go off at a mall or something. The truth is, how many people are going to be at the mall when the fire department and ambulance people get there? They're all going to be waiting at the parking lot to get in. The truth is that anybody that is involved in that is running. They're going to get in their cars and they're going to leave. And one of the big issues with the health department that I heard y'all talk about before is cross-contamination. People taking the incident from here and going to their homes, wherever it is in the valley, and then they touch somebody else or something else, and it just keeps on and migrating throughout the state of Texas. So an incident, real life, most people are going to be sitting in trying to beat the doors down on a hospital to get in. If the hospital is smart and they've been properly notified, they're going to lock those doors of the hospitals, and you're the next line of defense with this trailer. Y'all saw the incident that occurred in Wesco maybe a month or two ago, where the airplane pilot crashed and he got insecticide on him. He got transported to the hospital by a non-911 ambulance. The guy got shipped into the emergency room. They ended up having to close the emergency room down because of the cross-contamination of pesticide in the emergency room. So, knowing that, if they would have been able to shut the doors on them at the entrance and get a proper decon done, they would have kept the rest of the hospital open for business. So, I see it as a very valid issue here and a great opportunity to help keep the continuity of government, the cities go, counties go, and also hospital operations. Those are the suits that we have. What else is there to offer? I haven't found anything. Maybe y'all found something. You know, I don't have anything else. When we had the showering incident at Hurricane Dean, people had their own clothes, so it was a very simple deal. We had to bring towels in from a laundry service, and that worked out all right too. So this is the only thing I've found so far that's cheap, mass quantity, and easy to store. I've got boxes in the hazmat trailer where we just haven't packed them. Okay? So any questions on the suits? If not, then we'll go ahead and move into the trailer.
Ballpark price per unit, Chief, on one of those?
I want to say that these things are less than $3 a hit. I want to say it's even less than that. It's been about 3 years since I bought these, but I think it's less than $3 a hit. Okay, so no shelf life. One of the things that we do, if you do pack material inside here, y'all have already been discussing the issues about getting these trailers out of the sun. Very critical issue. We keep our hazmat trailer with the air conditions on all the time, and that's because it's inside of the building. We have the air conditions on the trailer all the time to try and keep the condition of the equipment at a moderate temperature. It's not cold, it's not 100 degrees, it's in the 70s and 80s, which makes the equipment last a lot longer. So just something to think about. When setting up the trailer, I think everybody's identified that this trailer is a monster. It's tall, it takes a big truck to pull it, and the counties have committed themselves to get the equipment to do that. We have that today with both counties. The trailer is designed to be self-sufficient, absent one item. That's fresh water. And when y'all leave today here, both of y'all will walk away with the tools needed to hook up to a hydrant. The fire department's gonna donate that to y'all, so you'll have it for your trailers, including the hose to get it up to the trailer. So the greatest intent of this is to go get a garden hose, regular garden hose, and hook it up to a water faucet at the side of the hospital and connect it into the trailer. If you have a fire hydrant around the hospital, which I can tell you 99% of the hospitals in the valley, because of fire protection requirements, they all have hydrants all around them. So getting a hydrant at a hospital is not a big deal. The hoses that we have will help you enable to hook straight up to the hydrant and give you greater water flow. That's about the only difference between a fire hose and this. You're just increasing the gallons per minute that can flow into the trailer. So what I want to do to try and look at it as a step-by-step process is we're just going to assume that we need to set this trailer up for decontamination. We're going to set up for an operation, we're going to flow water, and so I'll take it through the steps that I would do. So that means that we're probably going to have to go to this side, then we're going to go to this side, and to the front, to the back. So y'all just help me out by tracking along with me. And if you want to list it down by steps, however you want to do it, it's great with me. And if you have questions, stop me so we can make sure everybody's clear. Okay? The first thing we can cover right off the bat is when you get to the scene, the trailer needs to be secure. There's really no reason to unhook it off the truck. You're responding to an emergency. You just need to park it and stop and leave it hooked up. It's more stable with it hooked onto the truck than it is without it. So unhooking it from the trailer, from the truck, is no big deal. Better just to leave it all hooked up. The second thing is that you want to go ahead and put the jack for the trailer. There's going to be a total of 5 of them. One's electric, 4 are manual. Do we have the crank with the one here? Right? Okay. One is electric and 4 are manual. The one that's electric is in the middle of the truck, between the truck and the trailer. It has a button that you push that makes it go down. You have a button you push that makes it goes up, and that's about as simple as it can get. You just push the button to go down, and the jack will descend. Once it hits the ground, what you want to do, because you are flowing water on this trailer, you want to lift up the trailer in comparison to the ground and say, am I level or not? Is the trailer with God's earth here, is it equal to, or is it greater than, less than with the earth? So in this case here, we pretty much leveled it up before you got here. And I don't know if you noticed, but the trailer tongue is already down and set. So the next item, do you have that crate, John? The next thing we want to do, and of course this could be a multi-person setup. The idea is to get as many people involved, set it up real quick. But for our purposes today, we're just going to go one by one by one, and everybody understands. Okay. This is the manual crank for these jacks, and you'll notice that there's a little cutout here. You just put it onto the bolt, and you just crank it. And all you want to do with these, you don't want to jack the trailer up. You don't want to try and stabilize or make the trailer go one way or another. You want to put these outriggers on the ground so that it's stable. You make the trailer where when they walk inside, that it's not walking around on. Just touch the trailer, maybe 1, maybe 2. That's it. No major strength involved, and that's it. There's another one on the corner here. Same thing. Just crank it down. 1, 2. Yeah. We'll do the same thing, the same positions you see on this side, exactly the same on the opposite.
Okay.
And once Johnny's going to go ahead and climb down. Is we got stairs on one side, we have ramps on the other. Now, just to let Cameron County know that Hidalgo County has considered the issue of go ahead and making another set of steps for the opposite side and eliminating the ramps. So whatever it is y'all like to do, to me, y'all can do whatever makes this thing effective for you. So if you want 4 sets of stairs, then that's great.
Give us a pros and cons on both, on either way.
The reason why we did the ramp is because we were thinking that y'all were going to be encountering people on wheelchairs. You're going to be encountering people that were going to be incapacitated, and you're going to have to carry them on a backboard. And so we wanted some way for you to be able to walk up into the trailer without having to negotiate stairs. So the thing is, everybody so far has seen the ramps as a monster. They're like, man, this thing is ridiculously big. It's hard to maintain as far as getting it set up, and it doesn't have any handrails. So I will tell you that as far as the structural integrity of that ramp, you can drive the front of a truck on that thing and you will not break it. They over-engineered the ramps because they were worried about somebody walking up and that thing snapping. So they had a professional company create those. They're fiberglass and all kinds of stuff. Got the slip resistant walkway. You want to add ramps to it, pipe assembly adjacent to it, or you want to make another set of stairs, I think it's all great. I think it's all great. So we'll set up the stairs here. I can just get somebody to hold the door for me.
I got it.
They're aluminum. They're not that heavy. 2 people can facilitate a lot of this. You see that the stairs have bolts. You see there's a receiver for the trailer. It doesn't matter how high the ground is, how low. These things are designed, you can adjust the foot pedals on it if you want. That's it. You're set. The stairs are tremendously easy to set up compared to the ramps. Y'all want to go ahead and make your way around the back? Just as a disclaimer, you know, you see old Sean doing his thing here. Y'all do whatever is necessary for lifting techniques, back support, county policy, whatever, just so y'all, nobody gets in trouble here. Okay? Now I'm going to drop it? Okay. Okay, you see how big they are? You see that they're heavy, but there's a reason for it, and the structural integrity of the ramp. It takes 2 people, it takes 3 people. Each ramp has a pin that's in the ramp itself. The pin needs to go to receive into the trailer base. Okay. Right here. Okay. Once you have it, all that's needed to require to meet the elements of the ramp being safe is to put the pins in place. And it is a secure walkway. You're not going to break it. It's designed, it's steep, but it's designed that you can roll somebody in a wheelchair up. It encompasses the width of a wheelchair. Okay? Or a stretcher, or somebody on a backboard, okay? Somebody up. and putting them into the shower simply. I think you want to bring those down. Okay. Go this way. You're down.
Get over here, girl. Get me.
About how many of us girls would you say it would take to pick that up?
Yeah.
6 or 8. 6 upright, okay? You pick it up like the way you are lining up right now, it's okay. You know, it'll stay solid. But like right now that we pulled it out on the side, it tends to bend. It'll fold in and it can get your fingers. So my suggestion is, I don't know, Chief, if you want to also suggest something on this, but it would be if we're ever going to have to move it, you guys move it open all the time. And if it's inside, we got to pull it out open like that, not on the side like we did. We did it like that because we already know that it was going to fold, right? It's a lot easier to slide on the side because of the aluminum. But to walk around with it, to remove it, it's just best flat like that. And
Get a bunch of people. Yeah. As many people as you can.
No, it's bolted down. No, is it bolted? Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Take it up, yeah,
Hold on.
take it up.
Chief, what's going to be our next step right now?
Go ahead and just give it a shot. If not, that's going to be.
What's going to make this a success is the more practice that you can do. The more practice that you can do, the
Is
better.
that available in the
That thing
trailer?
comes with a trailer, right?
No,
No?
we'll get.
We want one. We have to have one
I got
of
those also.
Put them in the list.
So if y'all want to just put, I'd say at least
I need
2 or 3 on each side,
yeah.
Let's try. Come on.
And
just to see if you can pick it up.
Oh, it's not that
it's not because you're picking it up a while, but when you start walking with it,
Get rid of 2.
that is your forward.
Okay.
6 will be probably the
Yeah.
No, we can help with that.
Is we want to go ahead and hook up the water to it. Okay, we're going to talk about water in first, then we're going to talk about drainage out. It's you know, the big secret of Homeland Security. If you want to bring a city or a county to its knees, take away the sewer plant. You can have all the water going in you want. If it has no place to go, some point in time it's going to shut down on you. So on decon, it's the same principle. You can have all the water going in you want. You need to have a place to run it out. So we'll start out with water in. I told you that we can get a garden hose and hook it up to a garden faucet off the side of the house. We're going to equip each county with a 1.5 hose. This is 1.5 diameter. It's got an adapter to hook onto a fire hydrant. One for each. And we'll show you how to connect it in. This is real simple. Hose connection. It doesn't take any tools to make it work. You can just screw it on. Okay? And we'll show you how to hook up to a fire hydrant. We're going to use a pretend fire hydrant here. Can we get a hydrant wrench?
I need a
That's the reason why you want to get a bigger hose, because the bigger hose you get, more potential for water flow. Not around here, so you
Emergency
can
management will help you.
see. Yeah, everybody's seen a fire
Hey,
hydrant
Leo.
before, right? Don't know what a fire hydrant looks like?
Yeah, worries. Oh, yeah. Listen, we're right in the middle of training on the decon. I'm going to have to
on the
we're
fire
gonna
hydrant?
set up some training. Let me call you as soon as we get done here in the training. I'll call you back.
On the fire hydrant, there's a 2.5 inch diameter connection. there'll be two of these size and then one big one. Just imagine a fire hydrant looks like a dog, right? The face of a dog, you got 2 ears and a nose. The nose is real big, the ears are small. So this one goes on to one of the ears. Okay? This is the same diameter of that. This is of a fire hydrant. Now all you gotta do is just screw it onto the fire hydrant. Take your hose, same thing. Emergency situation, you don't need to be concerned too much about if the water's leaking or anything like that. You just need to just get it hooked on. The hydro wrench is what you use to turn the fire hydrant on. On top of the fire hydrant, there's a nut, and you just open it up. If you are not familiar with that, we can go across the street and show everybody how to operate a hydrant. This is all you need right here. Hydrant wrench. Okay. Let's come over here to the trailer. Here's the other end of the hose. We need to hook it up to the trailer. And if everybody will look real close, this is the inlet for the water. Okay? And all you do is male, female, and turn the coupling until it is tight. Okay? And you've successfully hooked up water to the trailer. The fresh water coming into the trailer.
Just hand tied, Chief?
You can I'm probably going to just give you all a set of wrenches. That way, y'all can tighten them up. But no, you can. It'd probably be a good idea to get as much of this tight as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody have any questions on how to hook this up? It's not hard. It's not something you have to worry about too much on cross threading, because the threads on fire department, to try and make it simple as possible, fire department threads are designed to be real thick and bold. So as far as cross threading it, it's very hard to do that. So you can almost do it with your eyes closed, and I would suggest that you get enough practice where you can hook it up with your eyes closed. Because what are you doing at nighttime? Same thing. Okay? So if we want, can I get somebody to go turn on the water faucet there? Just turn it on real slow. Just don't straddle the hose. Just in case that thing decides to take a little walk, which it will. To the left. There you go. Now you got your water supply. Okay? Now, you do it, go ahead and turn it all the way on. All the way. Yeah, whenever you turn a fire hydrant on, you want to always make sure it's always all the way on. And it's not so much an issue of how much water you get. There's a little bit of an issue of that. But the other thing is, on a maintenance side, on a fire hydrant, if you open up the hydrant halfway, there's little hoses or little lines underneath the ground that if you don't open it completely or have it shut completely, water bleeds into the ground, and what it'll do is it'll wash all the dirt away from the hydrant and the ground will collapse. Like what happened in Harlingen yesterday with a fire truck falling into the ground. There's a water break, it undermines the soil and it collapses. In that case, it was a major deal. Okay, so we're set.
Is there a pressure regulator there, Chief, or what?
This is a backflow preventer designed to minimize, because we are drafting, we could potentially draft a soap solution in for decon. And of course, you know, all the rules and regulations that we're aware of, they don't want to be siphoning back into the city's water supply. So double check as far as, or excuse me, a single check valve on that as well. Next thing we need to do is we have a way for the water to go in. We need a way for the water to go out. So if y'all just meet me at the rear corner of the trailer, I'll go around this way. Okay. These are some items from the from our hazmat trailer. These are not these are not part of your cash for the trailer, and this is where I suggest that y'all make the investment to purchase. This is the outflow. This is the outflow of the water. Discharge water. If you have a sewer manhole somewhere around, and there's water flowing towards it, and it drains in there, that's probably a good idea. Since y'all are the health department, I would say that we ramp this up just a little bit more and make it where there's a sanitary aspect to the disposition of the water. And the way you can do that is what we set up here. We set up a coupling with a hose bib. I'm sure y'all seen these before on your houses. We're going to take this and we're going to use it as discharging water from the tank inside. There's a 200-gallon storage tank inside here to collect water at the beginning. That'll get you going. You know, meaning that you can start deconning. We have the water on and we turn the generator on, which the only reason we're not doing it right now is to try and so everybody can hear me, but you can start deconning right now. You'd be collecting the water into the holding tank, and 200 gallons will get you a long way. Because all of the devices inside are designed for minimal water flow. And so while you're getting this other stuff set up, you could already be doing decon inside. And the critical issue on this decon is that people are not going to be sitting there with chemicals on them, just like, okay, man, y'all going to do this after lunch, or when y'all going to get this thing going? They want. So the sooner you can get this stuff set up, really, as soon as you can throw the ramps, hook up the water, turn on the generator, you can start deconning right there.
How many people can get decon with 200 gallons?
I haven't tried to just fill up the tank and see, but I ran over there in McAllen. We ran the tanks where we did not drain water, and we were able to shower people continuously for an hour, and we did not fill up the tank. Okay. But keep in mind that was, calm environment, no threat, no emergency. We weren't cramming people down in through there. We were just like 15 minutes later, another one, 15 minutes later. So there probably wasn't a high-end water flow. Where's the what?
The indicator to show you when the level of water.
You get down here like I am, and you look inside, and it's a plastic tank, and you can see the water level inside.
Is there like a bell or something?
No,
The
only other indicator that it's full is when the water starts coming out of the drains inside.
Oops.
Okay.
That'd be an oops moment.
So you can be there's a valve in here that you can have in the shut position, which is with the handle down. And y'all need to make sure y'all come up here and take a look at it real quick and see where the handle is. You see a black handle right here. This is closed. That's open. Closed. Okay.
Top open.
And if you, you don't have to be a plumber to realize how simple the setup is in here. If you look inside, you'll see where this pipe comes from, and it just leads right back to the tank. And there's a valve in between, so if the valve is down, then you're not going to get water out of here. You pick up the handle, then water's going to come out. So we need to ensure that we don't get a backup. We don't start flowing water into the showers backwards. So we want to go ahead and set up our drain. This is already set up for you. From this point afterwards is not, you don't have this particular part of the equipment.
Question, can we set up the drain as we're already using the 200 gallons that are
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can do decon.
everything all at the
Yeah,
same
you can
time?
do everything while you're getting this set up.
Okay.
Just turn it, screw the pipe in. Doesn't have to have any pipe dope, doesn't have to have any, put a wrench on it, just screw it on. Okay? From this point, and this is something that I suggest that both the counties get. What this is an inline pump. And this inline pump is designed where it'll just sit there and run all the time. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it burning up. You don't have to worry about whether water's coming out or not. You hook it up, you plug it in, have everything set up, and then forget about it. Kind of one of those Ronco deals, set it and forget it type of things. So, short hose, you're going to screw it into the drain. We've purposely designed the trailer to have an outlet here for electricity. This pump is what we use on our decon tents, to where we can hook up the drains and it's just continuously pumping and we don't worry about it. We got 4 of them. And we just hook them up, plug them in, forget it, and then let the water pump into a tank. This is the bladder that we have for the decon tent.
Do those pumps matter which way the flow's going?
Yeah, you want it to be flowing out. You don't want it to be pumping in. You want it to flow out, okay? So you have arrows indicating in, out. Real simple. Plug it in. Of course, it's not going to work right now because we don't have the generator on. Regular garden hose. Do me a favor and just stretch it out so we can create some distance here. You could have all this set up if you wanted to. This is the way we have it set up in our trailer where you have to pull it out of a box, but you could have all this set up ready to go, just connect it in. Okay? You could run this if you had a sewer drain, like the little drain over in the corner. You could, emergency, get an axe, knock a hole in it. Let's go. You know, lives are at stake. Water's just going to pump out of here. So if you don't want to do that, then you get a bladder. Have y'all seen a bladder before? Everybody? This is a 500-gallon bladder, so if you want to know what it looks like to store 500 gallons, we'll show you. Big old bladder. Just open it up. Get the upfitting for it in there. You just pump in there. And so the way that you get the water out, you can hook up with a vacuum truck, suck it out. You can take the lid off, stick something in there, suck it out. You can take this and pump it out. Whatever the case is. Okay? And you're set. You've already dealt with your gray water issue. Whether you run it into a sewer line, whether you run it into a drain, whether you run it into a gray water bladder. Fire departments have what they call a folded tank. Massive. Every fire department, not every, but most fire departments have one. They usually have 2,000 gallon capacity. You can set that up. It's like a big, massive bathtub. You just stick the hose in there and let it fill it up. When things calm down, get some order set back to the environment, then you can come back and say, okay, I've got about 3 more hours of this and I need to do something with the water. You get another one, set it up next to it, fill that one up. Or you can get somebody to come in. I don't know who does y'all's hazmat remediation as far as like
we have a private,
like biohazard.
it'll be CRC.
Okay,
Right.
call them in, say, hey, we got this stuff, you need to get rid of it, type of thing. And they do it, drain you down, you keep on going. Okay? So now we're ready to flow, get water going. The next step, now we've got water in, we got water out. We We got the stairs set up, we got the ramp set up. The next step is to go ahead and get the power side of the trailer going. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. What I want to do is there's a battery switch. Everybody wants to come by here and take a look at the battery switch. Turn it to the on position. Take a look over there. There's a battery switch that has an on and off position. Come on, should go ahead and try it. Just click it off. Okay, that's off. Push it. There you go. On. And you're taking battery power and supplying the trailer. Okay? Come on around to the front of the trailer. I might want to. Okay, just so we know what the compartments are here. Real simple. This is the generator. You really don't need to do anything with it. You put fuel in from the outside, things like that. As far as starting it up, you don't have to mess with it here. The key issue is, whenever you're going to do operations, you want all the doors open. You want to open up the top, you want to open up these areas here so that there's adequate airflow. Just for purposes of being in South Texas, not any other reason. Okay? This side over here, this big yellow thing, that's the water heater. That's the sole purpose of bringing water in, heating it up. From here, it goes to the top and distributes throughout the showers on the trailer. That's what all of this side is about. Water coming in, heating it up, distribute it according to the showers where they're located, and if you're going to put any soap mix, it's all done right here in these two compartments. So if you look at it, you have water and heating and electrical. Electrical on the right, water and heating on the left. We got our breaker box here. This is all the breakers that control all the functions of the trailer. They're listed out accordingly. The mains, the outlets, the lights, the air conditioner, the water heater. It's all listed here accordingly. Best thing to do when you're starting out, start out with everything on. Okay? The way that you start the generator is it has a start switch, and I know you might not be able to see it because it's down a little bit low here, but there's a start and stop switch. And all you need to do, whenever you're ready to start it for the first time, you want to push the preheat until you see a green light on. You hear the little sound? Okay, that's preheating it. Then I want to turn around and I want to push the start button. And it'll start by itself. Just hold the button. And the generator is on. Same thing for shutting it off. Just push the stop button until the engine stops and it's all over. I'm going to start it back up in a minute. I just want to keep from having to yell over the generator. The next thing you're going to do after the generator is start it up and run 10 seconds, 15 seconds, is you want to go ahead and open up your breaker panel and turn on the main switch and just go from left to right. It's the easiest way to do it. Start out with the main, left to right. And just turn one switch on at a time. Same kind of breaker panel y'all have in your house. Okay? That's all you got to do. That will turn on your air conditioners, turn on your lights, turn on your underbelly lights, it'll turn on the heater, turn on everything that you have. Okay? Any questions before we fire up the generator?
Go ahead.
No, not on the generator, but the soap solution.
Okay.
How is that? How do you put that in?
Okay, all you need, and I'm sure that y'all are a lot smarter on this than I am as far as proper decon for proper type of chemical exposure or not. And you know, I beat myself with a 2x4 for the past 4 years now trying to figure out what is decon all about. You know, what is this magic thing out there? And the truth is, there's no magic. The basis of decon typically involves where is the most exposure on a person? Any of y'all know?
Hair?
It's typically the clothing they have on their bodies. If you can remove the clothing, something that saturates, something that holds, bonds, binds that material to their body, If it's not on their body, you just minimize the majority of their exposure. You can't do anything about what they've already been burned with. You can't do anything to minimize their exposure on their skin other than remove what it is that is exposing them at this point, which is their clothing. So what is the next step? If you get a simple soap solution, and I want to say that, and I mean, y'all can tell me I'm wrong, but the best thing that I've seen is Dawn or Ivory soap. Dawn or Ivory soap, whether you get it in liquid format, is the best way because you can get a 5-gallon bucket, put some water in there, get some of that Ivory soap. You know, they sell it in gallon containers. Put it in there, do a pre-mix on it, just stick it in there, and that's adequate. You just want something. Everybody understands the principle of soap and what it does to clothing when it cleans, right? Soap breaks down the surface tension of water. When I spray water on a piece of clothing, all it does is literally bounce off. It starts to saturate, but it really doesn't penetrate. So I need saturating and penetrating ability with water. How do I get it? I mix a little bit of soap, and it breaks the water down, the water molecule, so it'll penetrate into the clothing, remove the dirt, and everybody's happy because we have clean clothes. Take that and apply it to Decon. You're wanting to get to the base of that person's skin, and you want to help break down the water tension, the surface tension of water, and allow that soap and the water to flush that person's body from any chemical or hazard that they have on them. Okay? The only place where that would not be true is when you're using acids. And in cases of acids, you may have to use some type of neutralizer. In the case of, and every chemical is going to be specific, so it's real important that you see what it is that the valley has that could a person be exposed to. And I use the great example of Matamoros. The company that's down in Matamoros, Floor Chem.
Chemical Floor.
They have some stuff there that I think it's hydrogen fluoride. You get that on you, this thing ain't doing you any good.
Chief, do you know if this pump would be able to, or would you recommend in a case like that, we'd have a large container with baking soda and water? Would this suck up baking soda and water as a neutralizer for acids?
It's got a screen on it, so I would say that the water solution that would, and it would leave behind the actual cake of baking powder. So it could do that. It'll definitely worth a try. But whatever the chemical is, you definitely need to try and match up. Either call your fire department or your hazmat team or CRC and say, what is this incident that's going on and what is it that these people have been exposed to, and let's see how we can match that up. Okay? But I've been told and I've been trained and I've been everything about hazmat and the training in the past couple of years. Remove the clothing and wash them with a simple water solution and soap, and you've done the best thing you can for those people, bar none. So this 5-gallon bucket, set it down inside there. You can continue to do pre-mixes as it runs out, and actually what it does is it uses water as a flow device, and it actually drafts the water, the soap solution into the piping. Okay, so a real simple format. The idea is designed to make it where it doesn't break down, and so it runs off of water. It's actually propelled by water, and as water goes through from the hydrant, it actually picks that soap up as it goes.
Do you have a mix ratio that you'd recommend, Chief, or you just or of water and
Very
soap?
moderate. You know, it's one of those deals, and I'm one of
10 to 1 maybe?
Yeah, just very moderate, not overkill, because you want that the solution has to be thin enough that it will draft through the tubing. You get it too thick, and it'll boggle up the operation. So, and I would not use powder of any type. Do not use powder soap at all, because even as mixing as much as you can, it still doesn't dissolve those crystals. Liquid is the best format. Okay? So, I'm gonna go ahead and, the only other thing I was gonna tell you that's something to consider is there's a mixing valve here. Put the paper out of the way. This right here is called the mixing valve, and it has a temperature gauge on it. It's designed for you to manually be able to go towards the hot or go towards the cold and determine what it is as far as the comfort level of those individuals. you can scald people inside here if you turn it too hot. So it's definitely something you want to get accustomed to and see if you have any questions about and adjust it. Right now it's adjusted to where it would be in the yellow level. Okay.
Chief, what is that orange valve on the bottom for?
The orange valve is to shut off the hot water.
The hot water flow?
Yes. If you want to shut off the hot water, you shut it off here. If you want to shut off the cold water, you shut it off here. And now you have no more water entrance into the trailer. It has similar valves. I had them change out the ones that were on there and put these big valves. One for the hot, and there's one over here that's for the cold.
Oh, so which one would you use to shut off the?
You can shut them. You can shut off both of the orange handles. Okay. This will stop it before it gets to the. This stops it before it gets to the.
Water heater?
What do you call this thing?
The regulator?
The
Check the
backflow preventer. Okay. But either way, the two orange handles are the ones that have the hot and the cold. For the garden hose, remember I told you you can hook up to the side of the building? We can take that garden hose and screw this on here. Put this instead of the fire hose. Okay? So it's designed to run off of both. It's much more effective if you use a fire hose. That's why we're going to go ahead and give you this so y'all can have for both trailers, and that's it. The pressure might be a little bit low.
A little bit hard, but
Okay, y'all want to come up here? I'm not going to run you through the shower, I promise you.
Thank you. We took a shot.
I got it. Okay, is everybody up? That wants to be up?
Jessica, come up.
Either way, you want to come up on whichever side. We've got plenty of room on both sides. Alright, so here we come in. Y'all walking up the ramp, and you come into the first section where y'all are at. That is where you take off your clothes. If you'll turn behind you, you see the chute. Right, just pop that. There we go. And you can just throw the idea is that it doesn't have a spring load on it. You don't want it to be open where you're seeing somebody inside. So just pop it, throw your stuff out, and then shut it or just leave it hanging, whatever. Okay? The next step, and of course the idea is for these curtains to be closed. And you can see that they shield real good. They go to the floor, all the way to the top. You can't see me from here. Okay? And the showers are designed with infrared sensors. So when I stand in front of this, I'm burned, I'm exposed, I'm in trauma. You know, keep in mind these people are stressed out, right? Been involved in a bomb, dirty bomb, exposure to a chemical. They're regular citizens. They're not like us. They don't understand the basis of emergency response. All they know is they hurt and they want somebody to fix their problem, and here you are sticking them into a shower. So the idea is to minimize their effort needed to go through this. And even if you had somebody right here, one of the nurses, firefighter, whoever it is, taking their clothes off and cramming them in here and holding them in place so that they can get the soap solution on them, and then coming over here and forcing them into the next position, they don't have to do anything themselves because it's automated. The first position here is for the soap solution. If you chose to have it injected into the system, it's going to pick it up right here. And you stand in front of it, here's the infrared, and it starts throwing water. Okay? You take away from it, and it turns off. Okay? Same thing over here. This is the first round of decontamination. It's got the soap. You want to have them vigorously wash their body with their hands. There's no time for sponges or one of those lafla things that looks like a big old squash or whatever. Lupa there. You have them wash their body with their hands and try and rid themselves of that chemical or exposure, whatever it is. You got water coming out of the shower head. You have one coming out, two angles here in a fan format, and they just turn around while they're trying to get all this stuff off of it. Draining through the drain. You just need to, where you see that they're clean or they feel that they're cleaned off, the decon is just to minimize the exposure they have. Remember we said that taking their clothes off, you're taking the majority of their problem away from them. Now you have what it is exposed, saturated through the clothing, burned through the clothing. You want to just wash that off. It's got good water flow. Okay. And you have the shower closed, of course. This one closed, this one closed. The next one is for a rinse format. You can see it looks kind of like one of those car washes you go through where the thing goes around you and sprays around the car. So the only difference is you just need to turn people around. Just turn them around. Okay, so the sensor is these boxes here. You stand in front of it, it takes off. Decon clothing. And that's why we have these shelves built, so you guys can pack as many of this as you want to. 200. The shelves here, you can pack as many of those as you want into. They tear the bag open, put the bunny suit on, and put the little shoes on. Get out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Protection so they're not exposing themselves out in the community. Get them to the next stage, which we know what the next stage is in y'all's case would be triage for level of going into the hospital. And y'all are a lot more experienced than that as far as determining who needs what level of care, but you definitely want to set up a triage area with nurses yourself, and not at all, and start popping them into the hospital under that format. Okay? We do have an air condition running on both sides. The purpose for that is to try and minimize the humidity level in here. It's also so that if we choose to use this for, well, we talked about some of the other occurrences. Y'all, you know, what do y'all do about the people on a stretcher? Well, we made these doors on this side. If you notice, this door is a lot bigger than the other side. These are 36-inch doors. If you take a stretcher, you bring a person in here and you just stretcher and everything, decon them, go to the next one, second round.